Welcome. I'm Gina Mathias. I'm the City of Tacoma Park Sustainability Manager. And it is with great pleasure to announce that the City of Tacoma Park is a semifinalist for the Georgetown University Energy Prize. The Georgetown University Energy Prize is a 2-year competition with a $5 million prize for the community that has the largest sustained reductions in energy use, residential and municipal energy use, using the most innovative and replicable methods. Tacoma Park is the only Maryland community competing for the prize and one of only 50 communities nationwide in the competition. For the small city of Tacoma Park with barely 17,000 residents, a $5 million prize would have a significant impact on the community. Anyone familiar with Tacoma Park knows that we have a reputation for being a haven for environmentalists and activists. Tacoma Park has a long history of cutting-edge and innovative environmental programs, including a recent ban on the cosmetic use of lawn pesticides and a ban on polystyrene food serviceware. Energy efficiency is already a priority for the City of Tacoma Park in our effort to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Over the next 2 years, I will work with city staff, businesses, and residents on new innovative programs to reduce energy use citywide. The first step for residents to participate in helping Tacoma Park win the Energy Prize is to start reducing energy use at home. Tacoma Park is now offering free energy coaching services, so you can contact me and go to the city website for more information on how to get energy coaching services, whether you're a renter or homeowner. We have with us 2 speakers today. The first is Christopher Nelson, the project director for the Georgetown University Energy Prize, and then we'll hear from the Mayor of Tacoma Park, Mayor Bruce Williams. After we hear from Mayor Williams, there will be time for interviews. Thanks.
Thanks, Gina, and thanks, Mayor Williams. Thanks for inviting me. It's great to be here in a community, Tacoma Park, that does have such a historic reputation for energy, environmental sustainability, work on energy and in the environment, and yet you recognize that there's still so much more to do, which is why you've been such enthusiastic participants in this prize. You know, this morning we announced the field of 50 communities, and they come from all over the country, literally from Fairbanks, Alaska to Winter Park, Florida. There are communities in Arkansas and Tennessee, Vermont and Michigan, and Tacoma Park made that cut from amongst the hundreds that contacted us about getting involved in this prize, not only because of your historic commitment to energy and the environment, but because of your enthusiasm and, dare I say, how energized you were about getting involved with this competition. Gina's exactly right. The best thing that you can do is to start by reducing your energy at home and take her up on that offer for free energy consulting, because one of the biggest barriers to homeowners in making that leap into energy efficiency is that it's hard to understand. Where do you go? Who do you turn to? Well, here in Tacoma Park, you have someone. And if you keep doing that, if you keep working on that, if you look for incremental approaches and keep applying those in more and more and more ways, you'll be in the running for this competition. It's $5 million. Over the next 2 years, we'll be monitoring your energy use along with the 50 other communities across the country. We'll be checking in with you monthly, and every quarter we'll be publishing the data so that you can see how Tacoma Park is stacking up. And you can track what's working and what isn't. You can see how you can make changes and how you can get even better throughout the course of the competition. At the end of 2016, we'll be analyzing all of those 50 communities, and in early 2017, we'll select a field of 10 finalists. Those finalists will create final reports, because it's not just enough to be the community that saves the most energy. You have to be the community that develops ways to replicate and scale your approaches. This competition this competition isn't just about helping Tacoma Park and Calhoun County and Palo Alto, California save energy. This competition is about developing new methods of saving energy so that we rethink America's energy landscape. We're really excited to have Tacoma Park in the competition. I want to thank you for all of your work. I look forward to coming back here, being just across town at Georgetown. I hope to be here often and to watch what you all are capable of. So with that, let me turn it over to Madeline Williams.
Thank you, Christopher. We in Tacoma Park are really excited and honored to be able to move forward to semifinalist status in the Georgetown University Energy Prize. I think that we have a long history of reducing energy, of being sustainable, and the most important thing is I think we're used to being in a position of creating new ways to do things and providing an example to other communities around us about how they can move forward. So I think the aspect of this that in many ways is most exciting is that we can come up with ways that are replicable in other communities. And I just think that we're a community that wants to do these kinds of things already. And I think that in particular, we as a government have been doing a lot of energy reduction for a long time, and we've been through a couple of phases where we think we've done, changing over lighting and things like that, and we're now in about the third generation of energy efficient lighting. We don't just change it once; we keep going with the technology. And so, another important aspect of this is that the real effort here is to go out and partner with all of our residents to make sure that they can do the same thing like we've been doing all along here in the city for decades now. And so it's going to be really exciting to have the effort going forward with Gina coordinating in many ways, and we're really excited to have Gina here to move ourselves forward and have some real positive change in the energy that we use in the city. And I look forward to the city moving on to the finalist stage in 2 years. And thank you all very much.
you are the Georgetown University project manager, right? And are you the one spearheading this program right now?
Yeah, we have a whole team at the university, but I'm handling all of the day-to-day management and operations for the Georgetown University Energy Prize.
So on I guess a finer scope, if we could just kind of refine the program so everyone at home knows exactly what we're talking about, just give me the details of this program.
So 2.5 years ago, we, through regular academic study, really came to the realization that energy efficiency is the cleanest, most accessible form of fuel available to us. We don't have to build new power plants. We don't have to change our fuel mix. We just save energy. And yet, we waste more than half of the energy that we produce in this country, which means that we have a tremendous opportunity. Here's the thing, it's been that way for a decade or more. So the needle just wasn't moving. And prizes like this, large incentive competitions, we've got $5 million on the line for the community that leads the way on energy efficiency. Prizes like this are historically a proven way to unstick stuck problems like that. And they work because they open up the field of innovation to new ideas. They give people who haven't been in the conversation a chance to enter the conversation. And let's be honest, the largest cities in this country, New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, they've all been doing a lot on energy efficiency. But the fact of the matter is, those models, because of the scale and the infrastructure of those big cities, they don't translate. They don't translate to the 9,000 communities where almost 70% of the American public lives. Communities like Tacoma Park. And so it's by asking Tacoma Park to enter the competition, giving you a national platform, and giving you the chance to win $5 million, that we hope to come up with new models, new ideas that will ultimately transform the way we use energy in communities like this all across the country.
So what are you specifically looking for? How are you guys going to measure this data, and I guess cities against cities?
Absolutely. So the actual energy metric is pretty simple. We're taking the aggregate electric and natural gas usage for the residential and municipal sector. So public buildings and homes, electric and natural gas. We're adding that up, dividing by the number of people served by those utilities in the community, and so we can compare communities of somewhat different size across the country. We'll also be normalizing for weather and climate and some other things like that. So it's a reduction in that energy usage over the next 2 years. We're talking now in January 2015, so by December of 2016, if you've reduced the energy as compared to a 2-year baseline, so 2013, 2014, we'll take those top 10 or so communities, and they'll enter the final round. What we're looking for in that round is not just the energy saving, it's the models, it's the innovation, it's the ideas that can be replicated and scaled across the country.
That's awesome. Okay, and that's a pretty innovative idea, because is this the first time this is actually going on, this type of program?
It's the first time anything like this has been done to our knowledge.
So let's break it down. So $5 million, that's a lot on the line. Break it down. What does $5 million look like?
Well, it'd probably fill this stage if it was in $100 bills.
That's a good one.
But really, that's up to the communities. One of the things that we're going to be asking you for in Tacoma Park is your plan for, if you won, how would you use that money? The only requirements that we've placed on it is, A, it has to benefit the whole community, and B, it has to continue the trend of saving energy. Now, a lot of things fall into that category, and we're going to be looking for your ideas, your creative solutions, because you know your community better than we do, and you'll tell us how that money looks to you.
And how many cities have actually expressed interest in this?
So last year we had hundreds contact us about this prize, but just this morning we announced the 50 that made the cut from all over the country.
And that was Tacoma Park, was in that 50?
Tacoma Park and 49 others.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Nelson. Is there anything else that you had to say? Anything else? Any other information you wanted to get out there?
I think an important point to get across is that $5 million is a large amount of money, and that's a big motivator. But when you really do the math, the savings that Tacoma Park could realize by becoming more energy efficient are as much or more than that. And that savings, in terms of homeowners' budget, go directly back into the local economy. That savings, in terms of the municipal infrastructure, go directly back into taxpayer programs for the community. So, while $5 million is a big motivator out there, every community that saves energy is going to win that and more.
All right. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be back with more. So you know that you're in the running now, right? One of the 50 cities that's going to be doing this competition. Is that correct? Can I call it a competition?
Yes.
All right. So what is it do you think that, I guess, make you guys kind of have a leg up? Because Tacoma Park, for the most part, is pretty much known for its innovativeness. And also, we're just very much environmentally aware of our surroundings. Do you feel like that gives us a leg up? And if so, what do you think is giving us a leg up?
I think that we're in a strong position on this because we have a history over decades now of innovating in ways to reduce energy and be a more sustainable community. And we're used to being groundbreaking in some things, so that we're used to having models that are replicable for other communities. And that's part of this as well, since it's not just reducing energy, but how replicable and scalable the different ideas are. So we're used to thinking about things in those terms, and we're not afraid to try something new. And so I think that will stand us in good stead in this.
Are you pretty positive on this, on the outcome?
I feel reasonably optimistic.
Good. That's good. And then as far as like the program, what kind of programs do you guys intend to, I guess, start implementing now that you guys are in the competition?
I think the main difference, and we were moving in this direction already with the hiring of the sustainability coordinator, was to not just be providing an example to people by what we do as a city government, but to go out and work with our residential customers, all of our residents, whether they're single-family homeowners or renters or multifamily building owners, to come up with ways that they can reduce energy and can be part of this whole effort. And I think it would be a whole lot easier knowing that we have some resources that will help them do that, that will get them the information and the linkages that they need. And we already have some cases where residents are getting together trying to form solar cooperatives and things like that. So I think more of those types of things will make it a lot easier for us to do.
So far, what do you think our history says or our reputation says about us? Is there any new programs that we've had so far that I guess you could say speaks to this competition?
I think we have...
Even on a small scale.
I'm just thinking the ones that come to mind aren't necessarily pure energy reduction like this. They're kind of peripheral to that, but we're used to coming up with new approaches where a lot of our colleagues who we see other places go, gee, I just heard about this that you're doing, whether it's the citywide composting or the polystyrene ban. It's not anything big, but it was a good number of years ago where the city stopped buying plastic water bottles. And, always up on the dais we have pitchers of water. So it's small things, but that's a reduction in energy use of creating those bottles, transporting them here full of water, and then dealing with the recycling again. So it may not be something that gets measured in this competition, but it's just efforts like that go to overall energy reduction and sustainability.
That's really good. And as far as economic, let's talk money. What does it mean for the city to win $5 million?
If we were to win $5 million, that we would, I think the only restriction is that it is for energy reduction. We have all kinds of things that we could use it for. We could take the programs that we're working on in this 2 years in the competition and take them much wider. We could provide some more incentives to people that we may not be able to come up with in the near term, and it'll potentially enable us to shift a little bit of money that we might be spending now to something else because we have funding for energy and sustainability.
Very good. So it's only good, of course. Right? $5 million.
It's all positive, and I think when you talk with anybody about this and they say, "Why should I care?" and you say $5 million, that gets our attention.
Of course I care. All right, Mayor. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, you good?
Yes. Here with Gina Mathias. She is Tacoma Park's Sustainability Manager. Thank you so much for talking with us today. You gave a wonderful intro to this press conference, very well prepared. And so I guess my next question to you is going to be, what's next? What's the next thing? I know you mentioned somewhat of a campaign that you guys are trying to implement now.
Yes, so the next step is to get residents involved. We want to help residents start saving energy at home. That is going to be the first and the foremost way that Tacoma Park will win the $5 million prize. To do that, the city has started offering free energy coaching services for residents, and that is for renters or homeowners. And residents can contact me, and I can come meet with them in their home and help them find ways to save energy. And this is good for people who are just starting out, maybe people who have unexpected spikes in their energy bills, or experts. We have a lot of people in Tacoma Park that have already taken steps to reduce energy use, but maybe they're looking for that next level, and I can meet with them to help them identify some further opportunities.
What does that look like a consultation? What would you go over?
I would look at their energy bills, and I would actually walk through their home with them and poke my head in their attic, their basement. Your house does not need to be clean. I've seen it all. And it's a mini energy audit. I'm not going to do any diagnostic testing, but I'm going to be able to identify some do-it-yourself fixes, identify major areas of energy leaks in their home, and make some recommendations based on what I see. Some of the recommendations might be to get a comprehensive energy audit, or it might be to talk with an HVAC specialist that specializes in energy efficient equipment. There are a number of things that can be wasting electricity in your home. I actually have a device, an energy use meter. They're available at the library to check out too. We can plug that into different things to see how much electricity is being wasted. It can be simple things like your cable box is plugged in all day even though you're not recording shows, and that can waste $40 a year. So just finding things like that can make a big difference.
So let's say, for example, the older buildings here in Tacoma Park. What if there are residents out there that just don't have the money? Is there any type of, plan for them? Any way they can participate in this?
There are. So we are really lucky that Pepco offers $2,000, 50% of the cost of an insulation and air sealing job, up to $2,000 cash back to have your home air sealed and insulated. That can reduce your energy bills up to 30%. And they also subsidize the cost of a comprehensive home energy audit, which normally costs $400 to $500. You can get one for just $100.
And I know there's a lot of innovative programming that has to go on in order for us to win. Is that something that you can speak on now?
Yeah. So one of the things that I'm excited to launch is a neighborhood energy challenge, and that will be for neighbors to band together. It'll help build a sense of community, but also work on peer pressure and get your neighbors to start saving energy at home. And it's not going to be just for homeowners. It'll be for renters and buildings too. So everyone in the city will be able to participate, and there will be prizes for the neighborhoods and the buildings that have the biggest reductions in energy use.
What's the biggest way that you're going to use to get the word out?
A lot of word of mouth. I'm hoping to do some door-to-door canvassing, which is always exciting, but it's the best way to talk to people, to explain the program to them, the benefits, and we'll be using traditional methods. The newsletter is a great way to communicate with Tacoma Park residents, and then our website, social media, all of the ways.
All right, so we have over 2 years? It's about 2 years to get this show up and running, yes. I guess you could say. All right, is there any city out there that you feel a little like, they might come a little close to us as far as like our reputation goes?
Well, you have all of the traditional players. You have the Berkeleys and the California cities, and then Fort Collins and different cities in Colorado to compete with, but I really don't think any of them touch Tacoma Park. Our residents, yeah. We are environmentalists and activists, and the Georgetown Energy Prize is such a great way for our residents to rally together and to make a big difference in the community.
Okay. Is there anything else that you'd like to say, any other information?
Well, I would love to help residents start saving energy immediately, so they can contact me, and I would love to schedule appointments with them for the energy coaching.
All right, and to contact Gina Mathias, you can reach her at gina.m@tacomaparkmd.gov. Did I get that right?
Yes.
All right. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a good night.